My name is Dusty Reed, and I'm one of the coordinators for Night to Shine here at Compelled Church. And first, we just want to thank you for being willing to serve with us this year. It's going to be such an amazing night on February 10th when we gather and just celebrate some pretty amazing individuals. And we want all of you on the same page. That's why we're doing this training. We want you feeling comfortable and ready to give it your all and create just such a memorable experience for our honored guests. We like to call them our kings and our queens, and we are so excited. Last year, we got the opportunity of hosting our first Night to Shine, which was a Shine Through parade. And so we want you to check out the recap of that night so you can get super excited about this year. Man, that was such an incredible night and such a joy and honor to have so many of you back from last year with us, serving with us again. But the Tim Tebow Foundation, they do these all across the United States, and we're just one of the many host churches that gets to just really join together in this amazing movement that is trying to create this prom experience all centered around God's love for those with special needs. And we want them to never forget this evening, that they would walk away feeling so important and so significant. You know, it's not uncommon for individuals with special needs to not feel significant or feel like they matter. And so we want to make sure that they know they matter, not only in God's eyes, but our eyes as well. And so we're going to treat all individuals with respect, dignity, and we're going to love them like there is no tomorrow. And part of the way we do this is by people first language. And people first language is exactly how it sounds. It puts the person first. So if someone has a disability or they have a need, we would not label them by those things, but rather we would label them by their name because they are people first. And so it's vital that we practice this, not only as our buddies who are going to be working really closely with our honored guests, but all of our teams. And if you're serving in any capacity at Night to Shine, we want to remember that these are individuals made in the image of God, and therefore they matter. And so let's watch this short video describing and unpacking more about PFL.
What is person-first language? Person-first language puts the person ahead of any disability identifier, meaning a person who has autism or a person with an intellectual disability. Why is this important? A person with a disability is a person first. People with disabilities do not want to be seen first and foremost by their disability. It devalues their inherent uniqueness and personhood. Additionally, a person who uses an assistive device is not bound by it. A person who uses a wheelchair, for example, is much freer to move around this world because of their chair. This stems from the social model of disability. A person is disabled by lack of access to their community and environment, not their impairment. Another common model is the medical model, which typically sees the person from a diagnostic point of view. Another common model is the charity model. This posits interventions or policies are done in the best interests of the person with a disability without including them or their experiences in the decision-making process. Also, using terms such as special, mentally retarded, handicapped are disrespectful and possibly hurtful. Always ask the person how they choose to identify, but default to person-first language if you don't know.
We want to give you some general tips on communication with our honored guests, our kings and our queens. And so when you're offering assistance to any of our guests, we want to make sure that we don't come in too strong, that we would actually offer the help and wait until they accept our help. Often they could be just trying to problem solve themselves or figure out, what they're working with. And so it's good to wait until your help is accepted. And whenever you're communicating to any of our honored guests, make sure that we're not simplifying our words or speaking in different tones, because we want to make sure that we're showing our honored guests dignity, respect, and love. And so if you ever happen to maybe find yourself in a situation where you are uncomfortable or don't know what to do, it's okay. We have floaters and coordinators who will be, in all of the spaces at Compel Church that night, who are willing to assist you and help you if anything comes up. And one of the situations that could happen would be maybe an overstimulation for one of our honored guests. And some of them might have this happen, and it could look it could kind of form out through fidgeting, maybe a fearful look, maybe aggressive behavior, yelling, crying. And if that happens to you, don't panic. Just stay calm, keep your composure. And we have coordinators who will assist you in getting your honored guests to one of our sensory rooms, where we have specialists in there and just ways to help them kind of regain their composure. And when they're ready, they can come back, into the prom area, which is going to be in our main worship area. And this is a big one for all our volunteers, but especially our buddies who will be interacting with our honored guests the most. Never go alone with any of our honored guests. So never go off into the building by yourselves, but rather always be accompanied by a coordinator. If you're leaving the main worship area, if you're going to the bathroom, that you don't go and join them in the bathroom, but if they need assistance, we can get their caregiver who is on the grounds. We want to make sure that we're always maintaining our physical boundaries. We never want to encourage one of our honored guests to think of our buddies, or even if you're volunteering in a different space, as a boyfriend or girlfriend, but rather just protect that and allow them to just enjoy their experience and just have a great night. And we don't have to navigate any of those things. We want to be careful in how we're addressing them, how we're treating them. And one area of focus and concern, and it's actually one of the highlights of the entire night, is going to be our red carpet experience, which is going to happen at the front of Compel Church. We want all of our honored guests to experience this and have a special moment on the red carpet, because this is an opportunity for our team to celebrate and honor all of our guests who walk on that red carpet, to remind them that they are significant and matter, not only to God, but to us. And so when we're celebrating these individuals, it's vital, if you are working that red carpet, to make sure that you're paying attention. We're going to be communicating with you guys. If we have maybe an honored guest who does have some sensory issues when it comes to noise, well, we're not going to make noise on the red carpet. We're going to actually do more silent cues. We're going to wave our hands and get excited in those ways. And so we want to make sure that we're protecting all of our guests, and we just want to assure that they're having a positive experience, and it's just going to be so enjoyable for all of them. And so some of you are going to serve as buddies, and you might be wondering, how am I going to be a buddy to someone that I don't relate to? Maybe it's because you feel like you can't, because you just, you're not an individual with a special need or a disability. But we want you to know that you can establish these connections, because guess what? You're both people first, made in the image of God. And so there's a few tips and a few things that you can do to kind of create that bridge right away when you get assigned to your honored guest. The first way is you start by complimenting their appearance. You tell them that they look good. They have spent time getting ready. They have spent time, looking perfect for this night. And believe me, we've already talked to many of their caregivers. They are excited and they already have everything picked out that they want to wear. And so hearing that from you as a buddy or just one of our volunteers means everything to them. And secondly, ask them what kind of interests they have. Ask them what their favorite hobbies are or what color they like the most. These are great conversation starters. But we do want to avoid asking maybe questions about boyfriends or girlfriends, because sometimes that can trigger things within them because they feel like, well, I can't have that, or I don't have access to that because of something about me. And so we want to avoid ever making them feel like they're not significant, because they are significant. And if they bring this conversation up with you, that is a completely different matter, but never force the issue in any of these talking points. Tell maybe the king or queen about yourself if they want to know more about you. So tell them about your life and the life that you live. But don't force maybe conversations about faith. If they bring it up, please feel free to express your faith to them. We're going to actually have a moment where Pastor Scotty is going to give a short gospel message where we just point the fact that God loves them so much. And one of the coolest things that you'll get to be doing if you are a buddy or working the limo is you get to go on a little limo ride with our kings and queens, and that is just a moment of the night where they truly feel so valued and loved because they get to ride in a party bus. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to ride in a party bus? And so as the buddy in that situation, one of your roles is going to be sitting at the door. So right by the door, you don't want our honored guests there because you want to protect maybe from anything happening with the door opening when the limousine's moving, but also when you park. So you'd be the last into the limo, and you'd be the first out, because you want to assist your buddy as they're getting out of the limo. And so that is going to be a great time. And one of the cool things, beyond that, is the fact that they get to just feel like a celebrity. They get to feel so special when they come out of that party bus and they walk onto that red carpet. And they get the red carpet experience. They get the VIP treatment as we just shower them with love and compliments and just point them to the fact that they truly do matter so much to God and to us. And so the win for us as a host is that we want our guests to have our full intention. And so no matter what you're doing as a volunteer, whether it be a buddy working with one of our honored guests, food service, safety team, whatever it might be, we want to make sure that we're not on our phones. If you're one of the few who has a walkie-talkie, that's okay. But we want to give our guests our full attention. We want to make sure that they know that we're valuing them. And so don't worry about, taking a bunch of pictures with your phones. We have photographers who are going to be taking pictures for dancing and all of those things and the red carpet. So just try to be present with your honored guests, whatever role you have. We want to make sure to know and that they are reminded of the fact that we're with them, that we're giving them our full attention, that we're doing this night completely for them. That's the focus. They're the focus. It's not maybe necessarily on us connecting with a volunteer who we're friends with or even, some of people we want to kind of connect and have fun when we're dancing and all that. No, this night is completely about our honored guests. And so we want to give them our full attention and focus in on them. So just put the phone away. We can get through one night without them and just focus fully on those individuals, our kings and queens. Remember, this is a prom-like experience. So think back to your prom. It was fun, right? Like you had a great time. So we want to create that environment for our honored guests. So we want to celebrate, have smiles, make sure that they know that they're walking into an environment that is full of joy, happiness, love, and that is the focus. We want this night to be the best night of the year for them, that it leaves them talking and thinking, man, I experienced something at Night to Shine. Well, they experienced God's love through you. And so make sure that we're creating that environment, that we're not allowing negativity or maybe the chaos of the night to kind of trump what's happening, but rather we would sit back and enjoy and watch God do his work just through joy. I mean, that's how he works. He works through us, and he's going to work through you that night. And at any point, if our buddies or if you're serving on a volunteer team and you need a break, we know our buddies, they're supposed to always be, with their honored guests. So if you need a break at some point, like you need to use the bathroom, well, you don't have to take your buddy with you, but you're never supposed to leave your buddy. So what you would do is you would just wave down one of our coordinators or one of our floating buddies, and they will assist you. Sometimes if you're at the dining table, one of the other buddies at the table can kind of take the reins of just paying attention to where your honored guest is, making sure that they're staying seated as you go and use the facilities. But I cannot tell you how excited we are for this event. And I know some of you, as you're getting this email and this training and you're thinking of the role you're going to play, if you are going to be a buddy, that can be a scary thing. But just know, take heart, be courageous, know that God is with you and he's going to use you mightily. And he's going to use all our volunteers so amazing that night as we proclaim God's love. It's going to be special as we get to crown all of our kings and queens that night and we get to celebrate. I believe that God just loves that so much when individuals hear of his love and experience it from his people, and we just have a dance party and have a great meal and have a night that all points to the fact that, man, this is these just amazing individuals, our kings and queens night to shine. So we're going to give them that night. And so this focus for our guests, I can tell you, is going to be amazing because it's going to be all about them. And I want to thank you from the Next Gen team, from Compelled Church, so much for being willing to volunteer with us. I know it's a big ask. I mean, it's a Friday night, and some of you are coming Thursday to help us with decorations and setup, and some of you will be with us till 11 that night, setting the room back. It means so much to us because this night would be completely impossible without you. You are going to be the individuals who are just communicating God's love, not only, through our language and through how we treat one another, but just how we carry ourselves, how we're enjoying this night. I mean, that's impossible not to notice when you see joy on the face of God's people. And I know that it's going to change some life. So thank you so much for being willing to join us. And so I thank you also for spending some time with me watching this training, because we want to make sure that we're on the same page for this night. It's important that we, have everything together that we need for that night. And so I want to also encourage you, if you have not done your background check or your consent to background check, please fill that out. It's going to be included, on this training form. And so mark that for us. Give us information we need on that end, and we'll get that going. And so we can get you all thumbs up, ready to go. But before you jump to that, I want you to hear the words of Tim Tebow. He has some just encouragement as a team for us. And so check out Tim and then fill out that consent form, sign that you did the training, and we will see you all on February 10th. Well, most of you on February 10th, 4:45. We're going to be meeting at 5 o'clock to meet and praise a team and have the best night of the year and to just celebrate God's love for so many amazing individuals.
What's up, Night to Shine volunteer? This is Tim Tebow. From the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for making Night to Shine such a special night. Yes, so much of it is because of you. It's because you're willing to show up, to work, to care, to love, to put their interests ahead of your own. We are so grateful. The reason that we can serve in over 50 countries and over 700 Night to Shines is because of so many volunteers have stepped up, and you're one of them. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for loving all of these kings and queens, and why they get to be a king or queen is because of the work that you are putting forth. We are so grateful. Thank you. There's nothing in God's economy that's a small deed. And when you're a volunteer, when you're cheering on a red carpet, when you're shining shoes, when you're at hair and makeup, when you're putting on that crown, every bit of it is giving people worth. It is giving them value. It is celebrating all of God's image bearers. Thank you for partnering with us. I hope you understand how big every single moment is, because maybe the moment when you're with the king or queen and you serve them, you care for them, maybe it's the first moment they've ever truly been celebrated. Maybe it's the first moment they have ever been clapped for. Maybe it's the first time that someone has ever really served them. And that could be the moment that changes their life, where they really understand how incredible, how valuable, how loved they really are. So thank you for partnering. Thank you for believing in this mission that God has put on our hearts. Thank you for saying yes to when he put it on yours. God bless you guys, and I can't wait for February 9th.